What is going on, Cuse Nation? Welcome to yet another edition of Orange Cheese. My name's Giovanni Heater, as always, and thank you for joining me. We're here today for episode 2 of our 3-part series talking about Syracuse basketball recruiting, and I'm joined once again by Austin Alberici and Tommy Wildhack. Gentlemen, how are we?
Very good.
All right, guys. So now, today we're talking about the 2021 recruiting class, and it's kind of a special class. This is a class, we talked about this before we hopped on the video, boys, where it's a class that we're not trying to get a one-and-done guy. We're not trying to get a 5-star guy, because what they're trying to do with this class is they're trying to build towards 2022. So I'm not saying that the 2021 season isn't going to be productive. Of course it's going to be. It's Jim Boeheim and it's Syracuse basketball. But they're really trying to build around so that when these big stars for the 2022 class come in, we're going to be set and we're going to be contending for a national championship. That's ultimately the goal here, as it is every season. So I'm certainly excited about this 2021 class. I'm very excited about the 2022 class. Guys, what are your thoughts about this class? Before we name names, just generally, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's got a lot of potential. We don't have any commits yet, but we feel we're in a good position to get some commitments, and that can go a long way towards, building a championship contender. And we know in 2021 we're almost more than absolutely going to have Joe and Buddy. So, get some front court recruits to help them out with Woody and Quincy too, and have a solid team that year, and then really go all out the next year.
Yes, absolutely. So again, in your backcourt, you're going to have Buddy Boeheim, you're going to have Joe Girard, you're going to have Kadari Richmond, assuming he's not some all-star next season. And then in the front court, you're going to have Woody back there. You're going to have hopefully Quincy. You never know. Quincy might have a breakout season next year. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. We're talking 2 years down the road at this point. But really, prospectively, the 2021 class is looking pretty elite. And we're going to start off right at the get-go with none other than Benny Williams, a pretty big prospect here. He has some other offers from Florida, Georgetown, Maryland, Seton Hall, Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, and Clemson. So, again, some ACC schools in there. A foe from the Big East, of course. You have another Big East school in Seton Hall, and you have some Big Ten and SEC action in there as well. Now, he's only visited 2 schools up to this point, and those 2 schools are Syracuse and Florida as of right now. Benny Williams, a 4-star prospect, ranked number 82 in the ESPN Top 100, 6'8", and he's out of St. Andrews. Guys, what are your thoughts on this kid?
His ranking's 82, but, he's 2 years out. His rankings could rise any moment. And, like this summer, if they play, he could have a breakout season in AAU and stuff. So that'll be good. And Woody Newton and Dior are both, like, good buddies of him, and they're going to try to, reel him into the Syracuse 2-3 zone,
Absolutely. Tommy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't really live off rankings. You have your 15 5-stars who are going to be NBA players, but after that, rankings really don't matter. And he's everything we want. And, we're in his top 4, and we're the only school in his top 4 that he's visited. He's visited us multiple times. Got a good relationship with Red Autry and the coaching staff. So, we feel we're in good position to get him. A lot can change, but he would be a huge addition.
Now, you just mentioned the top 4. That's something that just came out today. He announced his top 4, and that top 4 includes one guy that wasn't on the list, or one team that wasn't on the list that I just read off, but somehow snuck their way in there, and that's Miami, the Hurricanes. And then you have Georgetown, you have Syracuse, and you have Maryland. So a pretty solid top 4. This kid, again, he's not a 5-star recruit. He's a 4-star, ranked 82, but that could change at any moment, as Austin said. So it's kind of a guy you got to keep your eyes on. He definitely has a huge interest in Syracuse. And, again, you're not going to get this commitment until probably a year from now. But it's definitely a guy to keep your eyes peeled for and see how he progresses. It's crazy to think about. right now, this kid's what, my age? Because I graduate in 2021,
Yeah,
and I
our
would
age.
be, going to college the year. So it's weird. It's kind of weird sitting on here talking about these guys, and they're the same age as us.
And he's
They're a year
also
younger than Austin.
also 6'8". He's
Yeah.
6'8" as a junior.
That is huge. And again, a forward guy, that's huge. That's kind of similar. I would not be surprised if he packed on a few more inches. He's only a junior in high school. He could grow to be 6'9", 6'10", and that playing the same spot as O'Shea, just like we talked about with Woody Newton, he's going to be tall, which is exciting. Now, forward from that, this is probably my favorite prospect on this list right here, and that's going to be Mac Etienne. No, not Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson. We're talking basketball here. Mac Etienne, 4-star, ranked 58th out of 100 on 247 Sports. He's 6'10" at the center position. Obviously, we love the height. He's from Suffield, Connecticut, so kind of close, kind of where Syracuse has had a pipeline over the years when you go way back. So not too far from home. Family can travel. That always plays into it. So this guy's big, and he's physical down low, which I love. We've been wanting that physical big man down low, and we've lacked that lately. Not dissing on, Pascal Chukwu and Brahma Sidibe, but that's something that we've been longing for ever since the departure of guys like Fab Mello, and even a forward like Jeremy Grant or Musa Kita was known for getting physical. And you go further back, guys like Rick Jackson, Arinze Anawaku, everything like that. So he's one of the top centers in his class of 2021. He did visit Syracuse, and it was during that Duke game, and it was the biggest on-campus crowd ever for Syracuse this past year. He said he had a great experience, and he's, again, another top priority for this next year. Guys, what are your thoughts on Mac Etienne?
I mean, he would be our best center since Raheem Christmas.
Another
guy
that I forgot to mention.
A lot of tall, lanky centers, but not just big and strong one, dominant in the post. That's what we need. And, if we're going to be a contender in 2022, you're going to need that center. And with him already having a year under his belt, he would be a perfect piece to that. And, there's a ton of schools after him. Kansas is after him, UConn. If he wants to stay close to home, it's going to be tough, but we're going to have to do a good job and, get him to come to Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I also saw real quick, Bert, before you go, he's kind of been in touch with some of the other recruits via Twitter and stuff, which I think that's something that's new due to social media. And it's something that's very exciting because guys are, Joe Girard tried to play that game a little bit when he came pulling guys in. So it's pretty cool to see. He tried to get Isaiah Stewart here. We were pretty darn close. Bert, tell me about Mac Etienne.
You can't really go by rankings again. Bigs, they're not going to be number one like point guards. The bigs are going to be up there in the rankings. They might be a little lower, you get them. But this guy's big. He's a 4-star, but he's big. He's big. And that's what we need in the 2-3 zone. Any big guy he's going to be successful on the Syracuse zone anytime. That for a fact.
And I like him too. He's not a lanky big. He's got some size to him. And again, I can't stress enough how important I think that is because that's why we've been getting beat up down low recently. So now looking past him, we have you're going to have to help me on pronouncing this. Frank Kipnang. Was that correct?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay. This guy's got a crazy name. And I've never heard anybody say it. This is stuff, we read it online. But he's a 4.5 star. He's ranked 18th nationally. So that's something pretty exciting. Again, we're hoping he's not out of our realm. But he's getting some attention from some big schools, obviously being ranked 18th overall nationally. 6'10" out of Weston School. So, again, another prep school. So we haven't gotten much word from him or about him, but Syracuse has reached out to him for sure. He's a terrific rebounder, and he's very strong in the paint, which, again, we love to see. Syracuse hasn't gotten a guy like this in a while, and he's very much on the same level as Mac Etienne, in my opinion, looking at their highlights. But, again, I think this would be a huge pickup, and, he can shoot the three, which is exciting too. That's something Mac Etienne can't do. kind of a Kristaps Porzingis type attempt where he can shoot the three, but he could also kill you down low. We haven't had a big that can shoot the three ever since guys like Kueth Duaney. And, so I think this guy's pretty exciting. What do you guys think?
I think he's great because I don't know, we haven't got much word for him, but like he can shoot the three. So that means people are going to go out and guard him. So what does that mean? The paint is open. A lot of more stuff to do. We can shoot, we can pass the ball, we can put it down low, we can drive. But if you have a big guy that can shoot threes, that just opens up the floor a lot.
Tommy, what's your opinion on Frank?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Because if you have a guy like him, he takes attention from the defense, so it gives other guys opportunities. Even if a guy like him isn't scoring, if he's drawing the attention of the defense, that's exactly what you want. But, it's going to be really tough to get him. It's probably going to be harder to get him than Mac. But, if we're going to be in the driver's seat to be in the Final Four in 2022, we're going to need a guy like him.
Absolutely. And again, these guys are so far out at this point. Still big question marks, really. We have no idea. And so many more guys are going to be added to this list if we talk about it a year from now or even a week or two from now or a month from now. And there's going to be transfers played in. We're going to have to see who's still going to be at Syracuse, who's going to leave Syracuse. So this is hugely just all up in the air, all speculation at this point. But hey, it's quarantine and it's fun to get on here and talk about the what could be's. And these are the guys that Syracuse has reached out to thus far. Again, a short list, similar to the 2020 recruiting class, a pretty short list, but definitely exciting. Again, talking about how they're trying to build around that 2022 team. So I want to take the opportunity, we have a little more time here, to talk about how big the loss of Mike Hopkins has been in the recruiting process. Tommy, you know him personally. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I mean, he's just, one of the best guys you'll ever meet. I mean, he's a guy you want to play for. He's a guy you want to, help you develop as a person and a player. And, he was our lead recruiter. And when you lose your lead recruiter, you're going to take a blow at that. And especially with the investigation and the sanctions, it really set the program back from a recruiting standpoint. But I think with Griff, Red, and GMAC, we have three really good recruiters, and they're gonna have to do a really good job if we're gonna get some of these guys, and I think they can.
Awesome. All right, that just about wraps up our show today. Austin, you got anything else?
Was it 2 years ago, right? Boeheim, what did he get suspended for 8 games?
9.
Was it?
Yep.
9?
Yeah.
What did Hopkins come in and what was his record? Do you know?
I could probably look it up. It was like 500 or something like that.
Yeah,
5-4, I think.
If you're coming in as a head coach, I think that's pretty good, right?
Right.
You're not a head coach, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
it was all conference games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's pretty good. You're over 500 as an assistant coach. Like he's got a great personality. He reels people in to come to his colleges, and it's a big blow for Syracuse, I think.
Oh, I think he's everything. He was everything for recruits. I just interviewed Arinze Anuaku, Scoop Jardine, Eric Devendorf, Tyler Roberson. Every single one of them said the guy that got him to Syracuse, without me even asking, I just asked them to walk me through the recruiting process. Every single one of them said it was Mike Hopkins. Mike Hopkins was the reason they came. So, of course, that throws your program off, and that's why guys like Isaiah Stewart, who are probably going to come play in Orange, go over to Washington where Mike Hopkins went. And we could talk all day about, if Jim was ready to give it up, if Hop would have taken over and been the head coach here or whatever. Again, all speculation. We got a hot second. So who's going to be our next head coach? Just throwing it out there.
I mean, we have 2 assistants who could be great head coaches, and we don't know. It's really tough to predict who's going to be the hot name 2 years from now. For Hopkins, going to Washington, he had family near that area. It was a chance to start fresh, be the guy there, not forcing someone out. It was a perfect opportunity for him, and maybe there'll be a coach similar to his position, well, Syracuse will be that perfect opportunity for that coach. We really have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I guess, Austin, my question for you would be, is it going to be a guy taking over like GMAC or Autry, or are we going to seek somebody outside of the program?
I mean, you're going to say time. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just have to wait. But I think it's going to be a guy on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally. But, we could just have whatever Syracuse thinks is the best for them, for that program.
Whatever Tommy's dad thinks, right, Tommy?
Yes.
Yep. He's been thinking about that a lot.
Absolutely, guys. All right, well, that about wraps it up for our 2021 recruiting class, episode 2 of a 3-part series. So if you didn't already, go check out the 2020 recruiting class video. That's episode 1 of the series, and that really breaks down what to expect coming into this basketball season that we're about to get ourselves into after the fall and everything like that. And then episode 3, next time, we're going to really be diving deep into the 2022 recruiting class, which is very exciting. Big names out there like Dior, big things like the G League. So a lot to talk about there. Thank you so much for joining us once again on Orange Heat. If you haven't already, hit the Twitter at GeoHeater, hit the Instagram at Giovanni Heater, the Facebook page, and of course, please like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely big on the subscribe. It helps out a lot. So thank you once again, gentlemen, for joining me. For Tommy Wildhack and Austin Alberici, I'm Giovanni Heater, as always, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Orange, baby. Woo!